Good news, good news. So this is a new crankshaft, new inverted commas, same as the conrods. So this is the crank I want to use, the conrods I want to use, the old shells. I've already measured this conrod, so I've marked up the conrods with yellow paint and red paint, just so I don't get them mixed up, even though, you know, they've got unique numbers. Now, first thing, correction. The reason why the plastic gauge was splitting was because I wasn't putting grease on the cap shell. So the plastic gauge was sticking to the shell bearing. So now I've put grease on, you can see the region where the plastic gauge hasn't stuck to the shell. So that's good, no more splitting of plastic gauge. I'm also using the red plastic gauge. And if we offer up our plastic gauge, you'll see how the gauge is thicker towards the middle of the pin and narrower towards the outside, which makes perfect sense. And if we look at the thickest, we are basically around about the 0.38. And if we look at the thin end, we are around about 0.05. So that means, and that's exactly the same for the other conrod, measured the other one already. So that means that our bearing clearance between our shell bearings and our pin is between 0.038 and 0.050 millimeters. The spec says between 0.02 and 0.06. So that tells me that that's within spec, even with knackered shell bearings, which is good news, because that now tells me that I can have a lot of confidence just buying in the standard shell bearings, and it will work. We will get a nice in spec clearance with this crank and these two conrods and new shell bearings. So that is bloody wonderful news. That means I'll only be spending €220 on shell bearings once, not twice or three times trying to get it right. And there won't be any crankshaft machining. This crank is ready to go, apart from I have to remove all these drain plugs. Now, I haven't done this yet because I know it's a swine of a job. And so we've got a plug there, and the big plug in the side, and these are gits to get out, and they do have a history of working themselves loose in old engines as well. So the purpose of those plugs is twofold. The ones on the top, they were forged into the crankshaft and then machined, and they were your access ways for machining your internal oilways, so that a feed down the end of the crankshaft of oil works its way through a chamber inside here and then out into the crank pin through the holes which are at the bottom of the crank pin down here. And they're a sludge trap, so it's worth taking these out and cleaning all the shite out of them so it doesn't end up going back in your engine. A sludge trap just works by centrifugal force, basically, just like a centrifuge.